It's a beautiful night in Oklahoma City. Taft Stadium, the site for tonight's matchup between OKC Energy FC and Portland Timbers 2. Two sides trying to get back on the winning side of things. Along with Morgan Conklin, I'm Josh Appel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And Morgan, let's get right into it. For Portland, they're going to be led up front by Augustine Williams.
And he's a player. He's a lanky, tall forward, 6'2". He's also young, only 20 years old. Already has 2 goals on the year. They came in the first and second games of the year, so they're looking to him to really produce for this offense. Last year, he had 3 goals across all 29 games that he played in. He's a big part of their attack, but if he can produce tonight, it's usually a good shot for Portland.
Williams been with Portland since 2016, making his 4th straight start. And we'll see how they line up around him for first-year head coach Cameron Knowles. What do you like about this starting 11?
Well, you mentioned looking around him. I'm looking at Foster Langsdorff, but really how he works with the right back, Jimmy Mulligan. He likes to get forward, Mulligan does, and get into the attack. So how does that affect Zambrano in the middle? Does he come central? What does Langsdorff do when Mulligan gets up the wing? Because they tend to create off that, so I want to see how that right side works together.
Langsdorff, of course, a stud player at Stanford, winning 3 consecutive national titles with the Cardinal. On the other side, it's the man in the middle, Juan Pablo Guzman, his 2nd season with OKC. When you think about him, you think consistency. That
is exactly the word that comes to mind with Guzman. He is so consistent. Since 2010, during his time as a pro, he's played over 10,000 minutes. Plays in the center of the park. Last year with this Oklahoma City team, he was 9th in minutes played, but led the team with 87% pass completion. Thinking of how often he played and where he played, it's so impressive.
OKC Energy FC has lost 3 straight matches, but Steve Cook, their first-year head coach, not at all too worried about it this early in the season.
And we see a lot of similar players that they had last year coming back this year. Another player coming back who was with them last year is left back Kyle Highland. He's missed the past 2 games with a head injury. It'll be good to have him back on that outside, but also, how does that middle create? Jose Barril is so creative. They want to give him freedom to roam, freedom to produce. He pulls the strings really well. And then we mentioned Guzman, who's tucked in behind him, along with Callum Ross.
OKC 1-3. They've lost 3 straight. Portland Timbers 2-1, 2-1. Kickoff is next.
In Ireland, the first Sisters of Mercy were called the Walking Sisters because every day they went out in search of women and children who needed healing or help. Mercy continues to answer the same call, dedicated to the health of every woman who comes to us for care. Mercy, in every era, your life is our life's work. Learn why we serve at mercy.net/legacy.
Before the celebration, before the projections. Wait, those are the projections? Before you changed course. Again. Before the late nights, long shots, and leaps of faith. Before it was a startup, it was just an idea. And then everything changed. Cox Business. We're making the connections that change everything.
Success is achieved through hard work, and many business owners work tirelessly for years to realize the dream of franchising their business. FFB partners with companies of all sizes every day and offers an extensive variety of treasury services. FFB will outline a plan just for you, help you streamline cash flow, and monitor your business transactions. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. You know, how long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now, I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City. OKC Energy FC and Portland Timbers 2 about to get underway. Josh Appel, Morgan Conklin with you. And Morgan, we highlighted a couple of guys on both teams in the open, but for OKC to snap this 3-game losing streak, what do you think they need to do tonight?
Well, it was interesting when we spoke with head coach Steve Cook earlier this week. His biggest thing that he said a couple times was that they're just trying to build a culture and that the process is important. And obviously this team wants to win. They don't want to lose, but he said you can't get caught up in those wins and losses. And he was saying oftentimes that when a loss happens, people wonder why. And he said sometimes that just happens. You look at the Fresno game and the free kick from Juan Kafa is one of the best goals, if not goal of the week. And then you look at Phoenix and there's a top goal scored against them. So it's one of those things that sometimes it's just unfortunate. And they're really just focused on playing their style of play, establishing this culture that he talks about, and not really getting caught up in the wins and losses right now.
He says it all starts at the top. You have to have everybody working on the same page, whether it's a player, whether it's somebody in the front office, whether it's somebody on the coaching staff. Everybody has to have that one single goal to achieve that goal.
And I think the biggest thing that I took away from what he was saying was just his even-keeled mentality as a coach. He was saying that he's been in a ton of high-level locker rooms over the course of his career. He was with the Colorado Rapids for 8 seasons. He's coached at a high level, and he was just saying getting high with the highs and low with the lows, it's just a roller coaster, and things don't always turn out productive from that. You just have to keep that even keel mentality and focus on what's important. And for this club, it's building that culture right now.
And it's nice for them to get to return home. They've played in a lot of close matches too. Haven't scored more than 1 goal in a match this season, but aside from a 4-2 loss earlier this year, each game has been decided by 1.
And right now, a key for Oklahoma City tonight is a shutout. They cannot afford to continue to have goals scored against. Right now, they're tied for second in the league with most goals against with 7. That's not a stat that they want to be high up in. So for them right now, it starts with being strong defensively, being strong as a defensive unit across the field, and getting a shutout or limiting chances from Portland, because they need to get better at that right now.
Temperatures in the high 40s in Oklahoma City tonight. Some of the guys having the long sleeves, the gloves, trying to stay warm as we are underway at Taft Stadium. Portland Timbers 2, 1-2-1, 4 points in this early part of the season. They're already a third of the way to matching their win total from a season ago. They finished 3-23-6 under first-year head coach Cameron Knowles. Spent the previous 6 as an assistant with the Portland Timbers in the MLS. Here comes OKC down the right side. Something that has really kind of plagued OKC over this 3-game losing streak. You look at the first game against Tulsa, they generated 21 shots. In their last 3 matches, just 20 combined.
And I don't get too caught up in stats so early in the season. That is one that does stand out, but this is a team that's still gelling. Granted, they have a lot of returners. They have a new coach. There's some new players in key positions. So I don't get too caught up in all that. Is it something that they want to improve on? Absolutely. Tonight's a great time to do that. They're at home before they have to go on the road for another game. So is it the best? No. Am I too worried about it right now? No.
Couple of guys that they're without tonight. We mentioned earlier Kyle Highland. He's back after missing the previous 2 matches. But Jose Angulo and Francis Atuahene both out with injury tonight. Energy FC and Arvest Bank have teamed up to add a new element to home matches. The first ball that leaves the field of play and makes it into the stands is for that person to keep. OKC has had possession for most of this first minute and 50 seconds. Now it's played back towards Kendall McIntosh in goal tonight for T2, on loan from the Timbers. He's appeared now in 3 consecutive matches.
One of the things I noticed about this Portland Timbers roster is that of their players that they have on loan, which they have 6 of them, they're all in the starting lineup.
Dangerous into the penalty area there, but McIntosh off his line.
And for my last comment, that may not seem like anything. Of course, they're going to be in the lineup if they're brought down from the first team, but You kind of mentioned it earlier. This Portland Timbers 2 team only won 3 games last season. So the fact that they're bringing down players alone and getting them minutes, it's a different look. We have some players that were on the roster last year, but it's just a different look for this team. And like you said, they already have 1/3 of their wins from the 2017 season.
Here's a foul against OKC. Portland in the midst of a 3-match and 8-day stretch. This is their their third and final game of this road trip. Earned a point in a 0-0 draw with Tulsa the other night. And Cameron Knowles, while he was, the positive he said was obviously they got the 1 point. It's a point on the road. It's a clean sheet. But he says they had a lot of opportunities that they weren't able to cash in on. And, the locker room kind of feels like they left an extra point out there, an extra 2 points out there.
Which is saying a lot, too, because that was their 4th of 5 games on the road to start the season, this being their 5th. So for them to get just at least 1 point on the road is a good thing, but obviously this Portland team isn't content with just getting 1 on the road. They want 3, so Oklahoma City has to know that tonight.
Portland has their first home match as OKC able to clear that. Coming up on April 18th. About 4 minutes into the first half, just underway from Taft Stadium. And some miscommunication there by Oklahoma City, and so it'll be a throw-in for T2. Renzo Zambrano with his first touch. He plays it back to Kendall McIntosh, the keeper. Made 3 saves against Tulsa. His first shutout of the year, but second clean sheet as a club for Portland this season.
And early on, you can already see the defensive shape that Oklahoma City is playing with. They have Siaj staying high. Baril has stepped up a little bit, but they dropped those 2 outside wingers back. So they have pretty much a front 2, and then behind them, a line of 4. So they're making it difficult to play through them. That's their goal. When it gets to a certain point, Baril and Siaj will step forward and press. But with this view so far out, you can really see defensively the way that they're playing.
Long ball to the far side, played nicely by T2, but OKC able to win the one-on-one battle momentarily before Portland starts it back the other way. Down the right side. Arboleda making a run. Sends it across in, and it's headed out by Guzman. And there he is, Mr. Consistent, as Van Oekel scoops that one up with ease. Steve Cook, there you get a look at him there. He's in his first season as the OKC Energy head coach. Was the interim for Colorado Rapids of the MLS a season ago. He had been with the Rapids since 2010, a former player. And, we really enjoyed our conversation with him earlier this week, Morgan. And it was just a different vibe that sometimes maybe you don't hear from a lot of head coaches, just about how he approaches wins and losses, especially this close into the season. But you could really tell what he was trying to build. And it's interesting to get that perspective, especially because this club made a deep run to the playoffs last year, losing in PKs in the Western Conference Final.
I was just going to say the same thing. You often see if a new coach comes in and they're trying to establish their culture, it's mainly because a culture needs to be established, maybe because the team struggled the year before or it wasn't a good situation. But you look at this Energy FC team, they went to the Western Conference Finals. They had a great run under Jimmy Nielsen, and they bring back a lot of returners. So it was interesting to hear that, but I think really what he was saying is he's not really trying to change anything. I think for the most part, nothing stands out that they're doing differently. You see a lot of the returners in their same positions. You see players who come in, a Callum Ross from Charlotte. He's pretty much playing the same position that he was. So nothing's totally different, but he's just trying to establish his style of coaching that maybe just be a tad different. Maybe the way he addresses his players, maybe the way he views wins and losses. He's just trying to establish that.
And you mentioned about Portland earlier, and they've got 6 guys on loan in the starting lineup tonight. Well, obviously, OKC Energy has their share of players in on loan as well. And we asked Coach Cook about what he thought about how they've been able to gel so far. Some pressure here by Portland. Tight quarters for OKC. And off the deflection and the throw-in, Portland takes back over. No real scoring chances yet for either side into the 8th minute. But he was saying that, each player that has been brought in has been fantastic, helping build that strong team bond, that culture. And it's all about everybody buying in. And so far, Steve Cook has seen that from all of his guys. And the other dynamic, too, you know, you make a deep run like that, and then a new guy comes in, and, you know, from players' perspective, if you played in college, did you ever have to go through a coaching change or anything like that?
I didn't, but I can't. It would just bring a different element to it, especially, like you said, after having such a successful year and then having a change. I think it helps the fact that he has a lot of returners, and Cook told us just that the returning guys have been great.
This could be an opportunity for OKC. Jonathan Brown. And it'll be a corner for OKC.
Miguel Gonzalez is really good when he has space. He's good on the turn, really quick, and he's able to play those little slip balls. Jonathan Brown streaking across. I love that diagonal run, and they're able to create. That's when Gonzalez is at his best, when he finds little pockets of space.
It'll be an in-swinging corner. It's sent in low and over the goal, and it'll be another corner. Say it was last touched by Portland. And so Gonzalez will get another crack at it. It's been a struggle to score for OKC this year. They haven't scored more than one goal in a game in a match this season. That one's deflected out again, this time by OKC, and so a goal kick for Kendall McIntosh.
Josh Phillips for Portland, their center back, gets caught facing his own goal, and he's swinging at that ball with his right foot, which if he made contact with that is going directly towards Kendall McIntosh, towards the wrong goal. So his body position has to be open to the rest of the field going forward, not facing his own goal, especially with the leg that he put out trying to get a touch.
Your attention, please. The Artemis first ball has been claimed, and you'll have another shot at our next home game on April 21st.
Continuing to apply pressure. McIntosh finally sends it downfield. Portland takes over possession. That's something OKC Energy really excelled in their last match, despite the loss. A 2-1 loss against Fresno. They dominated possession, 56% to 44%, and had their highest possession number in the second half of the season at 59%. And so far, that theme is continuing here for the first 10-plus minutes.
Well, and when you look at the midfield for this Oklahoma City team, they have 4 or 5 guys that are constantly battling, trying to get a starting spot. That's one thing we spoke about when we spoke with Steve Cook, is he was just saying it's healthy competition, and it makes the coach's job hard, because you look at a Callum Ross, a Juan Pablo Guzman, you look at a Jose Barril attacking, also Miguel Gonzalez attacking. You just see these players that have the ability to impact, and they could all be starters.
You know, you look at a couple of the guys who are out. We talked about the players on loan from FC Dallas. Francis Atuahene is one of them. He's out with an injury tonight. Jose Angulo, who caught fire at the end of last season, he's out tonight as well. So if OKC can kind of keep their heads above water while those guys are out, when they finally get them back, factor into the lineup, they really have something.
Well, and that's one thing. Not as much with Atuahene in terms of size.
Here's an opportunity for Portland, a nice defensive play. It'll be a corner, though, for Portland. You see Kyle Highland there, winning the tackle, sending it over the goal line. The corner upcoming.
Highland is such a good defender. He's able to really close space. Even if the attackers get a step on him and are able to get the cross off, he stays with them and puts his body out. He's a really good closed-down defender.
Zambrano will take the corner. See Williamson lining up a few yards to his left. Here's the corner, header, and Van Oekel able to find that one through traffic and keep us scoreless. OKC trying to push it down the pitch. Gonzalez settles it down, and from behind it's taken away. What'd you see there? Some shaky defensive play there after the nice takeaway. Instead of trying to maybe send it out to avoid the corner, it's over the goal line, and OKC has their third corner already.
It's a great recovery run from Arboleda, the way he gets back and gets his body in front of Gonzalez. Miguel Gonzalez, fantastic touch, but it's hard to get that ball on the ground and get forward with pace, just the way it's dropping.
Here's an opportunity, and it's set high. Ibeagha had a golden chance and ripped it too tall. A couple of opportunities on both ends here.
Ibeagha already has 1 goal on the year and is going to want that back. The ball trickled all the way through. He was wide open on the back post. That very rarely happens.
Talented Ibeagha family. Of course, his brother Sebastian with NYCFC. Here's Arboleda. Didn't get all of that one. And Van Oekel with the save on Arboleda. It's actually Augustine Williams with the chance.
And that's one of the dangers of playing against Augustine Williams, is the timing of his run, and he's linking, can cover ground. So if the center backs are caught too high, he's able to sneak in behind, especially with how far apart they were. There's an easy run for him right up the center.
You can kind of see early on Portland showing off their speed. We saw Arboleda make a run earlier, and there Williams with a nice chance. This is Arboleda. He goes down, and they call the foul on Highland. He doesn't like the call.
Another thing about Portland is they're not afraid to ping a ball far. It's a beautiful ball sent all the way to Jimmy Mulligan, that right back that I said likes to get forward, and he has a perfect touch down to his feet, combining with Arboleda, who's dragged down. That's one thing that makes him dangerous, is the way they see the field and aren't afraid to just hit a long ball.
Augustine Williams, who we highlighted in the outset, sends it in. Cleared away momentarily, and Highland finishes the job. Nicely done there by OKC. Into the 15th minute of the first half, still no score, both sides with a couple of chances. Best one from Christian Ibeagha, sending one high over the goal. Arboleda guarded closely. Williamson into the box, the header. Not on target, and Highland plays it to his keeper. The Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earn them discounts at several metro area locations like Terry Parker Solutions, Mamaritas, and Buffalo Wild Wings on Northwest Expressway. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold. Josh Appel, Morgan Conklin with you. OKC Energy FC, Portland Timbers 2. Both teams trying to earn their second wins of the season, and OKC hoping to halt a 3-game losing streak. Nice keep in there on the near side by Mulligan. We talked about him earlier, coming up from his right back spot. Low cross, and OKC calmly plays it out. Portland with the steal. Here's a shot, blocked. A new addition to the back line for Portland tonight. Vitas is back there from Lithuania, the 27-year-old. Member of the Lithuanian national team. Just got his first touch a moment ago. Williamson plays it to the other side. Ebobisi couldn't handle it. But Portland still maintaining possession. And now Oklahoma City takes it away. Through the middle, this is Baril. Is this onside? Yes, it is. Low cross. And McIntosh able to handle it.
Oklahoma City last year and this year, one of the things that they really harp on is being good in transition. And the way that they get forward, Baril gets forward, penetrates a little bit, and then plays that ball wide. Brown, I like that ball that he plays in. It has good pace. He needs to curl it a little more away from the keeper to give his team a chance, because they have numbers, but it was a little too straight, so it's a simple save for McIntosh.
You mentioned the nice play in transition there for OKC, and that's something else that Steve Cook talked about with us. And you asked him, you know, what's kind of your style of play? And most coaches, they'll say, all right, we like to be an attacking team. We like to kind of play back sometimes. Well, I don't know if anybody likes to play back, but you know what I mean. But his answer was, kind of interesting. He kind of said, we want to be good in all areas. And that might seem kind of obvious, but he didn't really focus in on one thing, because one thing kind of leads to another, he says.
But he did mention transition, because oftentimes that creates chances because teams are unorganized. It gives you a chance to go forward.
Could this be an opportunity here? Played nicely by Portland. OKC trying to get it back. And they do. Highland steps up, but we have a foul back behind the play.
But Josh, and speaking of transition, one thing that Oklahoma City has to be careful of, when they lose the ball from attack and they have to defend, they have to be careful because we've already mentioned Jimmy Mulligan, right back, likes to get forward for Portland. When he gets forward, Kyle Highland is forced to make a decision. Usually he's stuck watching Arboleta because he gets forward from that right flank. But if Highland drops, somebody from Oklahoma City has to step to the ball because Jose Barril is tucked central. He doesn't want to defend anyway. He's an attacking player, along with Miguel Gonzalez, who usually is caught higher. So it forces Gonzalez to drop if they're going to stop Jimmy Mulligan. But the fact that he gets forward creates some numbers issues.
There's Mulligan there, right on cue.
I love when it works out like that.
It's almost like you did your homework.
I love when I'm talking about something and it's like the players hear me and do it. It makes me look like I know what I'm talking about. At least for the moment.
We'll keep an eye on Jimmy Mulligan all night. There's an unforced error there. Oklahoma City had possession and just rolls out. So it'll be a throw-in for Portland. Into the 20th minute of the first half. Here's a nice run, but Van Okel off his line. Able to beat the forward to it. An artificial turf surface at Taft Stadium, and I'm just curious, obviously the fields play different when it's grass, it's artificial turf. And as a former player, what did you like playing better on? Which kind of surface? A regular grass, natural grass, or an artificial turf surface like this?
Grass all day, every day.
How does it change things?
The ball on turf moves faster because it's a little shorter, so it's slick. It's a little harder to cut because your feet can get stuck a little bit. Sometimes that's why you see more injuries on turf, just because of cleats getting stuck in it. But it's just natural to play the game on grass. It moves differently. The ball bounces differently. So personally, I'm definitely a fan to play on grass. But it is nice that on turf you can play in all sorts of weather, all times of year.
And that's kind of why you see a lot of teams. Usually you only saw it because you get to look at the replay here. Called a foul on Barril. Don't think there was any card given there, just a foul. But a lot of teams, not teams, but stadiums, arenas going to the artificial turf even though they're outdoors. Usually you kind of just saw that with dome teams. But in all kinds of weather, the artificial surface works. And that was something in the Women's World Cup that drew the ire of a lot of the teams a couple of years ago.
Was a big issue.
Oklahoma City looking to get something going. Portland applying pressure. Lansdorf, a high draft pick. Won 3 straight national titles at Stanford, but Oklahoma City back with it. Lansdorf, 22 years old, on loan from the Timbers. Made his pro debut back on March 31st. You know how hard it is to win a college national championship. The thought of winning 3 straight makes it all the more impressive. 1 would be good enough. 2 would be fantastic. But 3 in a row?
Well, with RGV, goalkeeper Nico Corti won 3 as well with Stanford. And then they also have Todd Wharton, who won 1 with UVA. They had Eric Bird, who won 1 with UVA, another UVA player. It's impressive. And to have that type of success at the collegiate level in this league, I think just it brings players with winning experience, maybe to clubs who haven't won or to play with guys who haven't won a championship. And it's just that experience. You really can't teach it, and you can't learn it unless you played in it.
Siage goes down. He has some words for somebody with T2. Looks like he's all right. Take another look. What happened here?
And that's a hard takedown, but that's just body. You see Williamson using his body, getting in on that tackle. Siaj was off balance, which is why he fell harder, which is why he was more upset, but that's just a tackle going in with your body.
Williamson, by the way, goes 5'9", 155. And Siaj goes 6'2", 195.
He was off balance.
Oh, there you go. Guzman. Highland keeps it in. Guzman again. Williamson applying pressure. And it's played back to Ajayi. Guzman, the captain.
We spoke about the consistency from Juan Pablo Guzman, but another word that comes to mind with him is awareness. You always see him check his shoulder, which sounds like such a little thing, and you would think most players at this level do it, but it gives you just the awareness of what's behind you.
Barril, edge of the 18, his shot is blocked. It'll be a throw-in for OKC. Barril, dispossessed, still battling for it. And last touch by T2, it'll be OKC's throw-in.
Great job defensively from Barril to stay in the play and win that ball back. Also, going back to it, I like the fact that he shot that last ball because it sets him up. The next time he gets it, he can play it and pass through, which usually is what he does. So by taking that shot early, it allows him more options for the next one.
You see Highland stepping up there to thwart any rush. Mulligan with the throw-in. Into the 25th minute at Taft Stadium. Crowd, you can see, still filing its way in. Hoping to see the home team snap a 3-game losing streak. OKC is 4-1 all-time against Portland, including a perfect 2-0 record at Taft Stadium. Ajay heads it away. Throw in for Portland, right around midfield. A 2-1 loss against Fresno FC for OKC in their last match. Allowed a goal in the 15th minute, but then answered with the equalizer 6 minutes later. And we haven't seen the first tally yet, but Steve Cook talked about putting so much emphasis on that first goal and how the first goal, depending on who scores it, can really set the tone for a match.
Well, it's so true for any game, but especially when you haven't won in 3 games and you haven't been as productive as you would like to be. I'm not going to say it puts more pressure on the first goal, but it just makes that first goal more important.
And he was talking too, it wasn't just that they were getting scored on first, it was the quality of goals against them. He called the one the other day Messi-like.
Which it's hard. It's always hard to swallow a loss and to go along with the loss, but sometimes when there's just really good goals scored, maybe you have to take it and it just wasn't your day.
Throw your hands up and say, all right, tip of the cap to the other side, and regroup and get ready for the next one. Looks like OKC potentially had something brewing there, but it was broken up momentarily. Callum Ross. Gonzalez goes down.
I love that last play. First off, the fact that we see Richard Dixon get forward. It doesn't come off, but then Oklahoma City's able to win that ball back. And the way that Callum Ross played that ball, whipped it into Miguel Gonzalez, it made him the only one that was available to get that ball. Either he was going to get to it first or he was going to be fouled like he was. So it gives his team a chance to win the ball and keep possession no matter what.
Ross to Barril. Guzman now. Down the far side, it's deflected and it'll be a corner. OKC with its 4th corner kick of the night. This one will be from McIntosh's left.
I would like to see more chances created in the run of play, but if Oklahoma City is going to get this many corners, the quality has been pretty good, so they need to continue to get numbers in the box because they've had a pretty good look on most of them so far.
Headed away by Phillips, and again, it'll be a corner for OKC. Gonzalez with a right foot will take it. And a That's nicely headed away by Portland's Augustine Williams. OKC still with it, and then it's cleared. Dixon. Long ball ahead, looking for Barril on the left side, but it was taken away. Williams. Arboleda trying to make a run, but that pass went a little bit too far for him. And so OKC will have a throw-in. You love the kind of gamesmanship like that.
Oh, and I love Kyle Hyland running forward about 10 yards. I don't blame him.
Phillips just thwarted a potentially great opportunity for OKC. Looked like Barril was making a run. And again, a throw in here for Portland. Mulligan will take it. 29th minute of the first half. Still no score, and really no real scoring chances since Ibeagha had one in the first 10 minutes. A busy night in the USL. Still early in the season. 5th match of the year for OKC. Lansdorf can't believe it.
Callum Ross did exactly what he needed to do in that situation. He steps to Langsdorf, just jockeys him almost, gets in his way so he can't play the ball. Langsdorf is upset, but he put a hand directly to Callum Ross right in the throat. I see him maybe if he's passing, maybe if he's shooting to swing, but he feels Ross there is trying to swim him off. It's definitely a foul. Callum Ross did exactly what he should have done in that moment.
It's almost like the Dwight Schrute throat punch.
There you go.
Anytime you can work an Office reference in. Lansdorf will hopefully have a short memory. As a young player, don't want to let something like that stick with you, especially early in a match. Gonzalez settled it down momentarily, but it was flicked away. Arboleda in the middle with some speed. Williams for Arboleda, but he's offsides.
That's a beautiful turn from Arboleda to get that ball, turn quickly and work with Augustine Williams. A nice job defensively from Oklahoma City to absorb the pressure and to get a defender there. He was just a touch offside going forward, but they have to be careful because those two have been creating a lot of chances together.
With both of the speed each guy has, it's been impressive to watch early on. Lansdorf. Mulligan into the middle. Nicely done. Barril. Here's a chance for OKC. And Siaj couldn't do anything with it. He got past the keeper for a moment, but his touch just not on target. The Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members. That earns them discounts at several metro area locations like Fandango, Fit Spa, and Supermercado Morelos. Here's another look at this Siaj opportunity.
The ball just completely came off the wrong side of his foot. Siaj does a nice job of bringing it central, the touch with his left foot to get it on his right. He tries to volley because he knows McIntosh is coming off his line, but it hits the outside of his foot. He wanted to hit that with his laces, which is why it took that awkward turn. But I love the fact that when he slashes forward, his first touch with his left foot brings it onto his right.
Once again, the Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earns them discounts at several metro area locations like Fandango, Fit Spa, and Supermercado Morelos. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold. Approaching the 33rd minute of the first half. Free kick here for Portland. This is the first matchup between these two clubs since June of last season. OKC swept the season series 2-0. And it really was just a struggle of a season for Portland Timbers too, and they're hoping for different fortunes this year under first-year head coach Cameron Knowles. And he's quite accomplished in his career. Part of a staff that won the MLS Cup in 2015. He played professionally for 7 seasons, 2 in the MLS, 4 with Portland Timbers too. 77 career matches in the USL.
Well, and I think one of the really cool things about Knowles being a part of this Timbers 2 staff now is he's been, like you said, with the organization for a while. He's the longest tenured person on any of this club's coaching staffs and is one of the longest tenured people in the organization.
Williams into the box. Here's a chance, and T2 is on the board first in the 34th minute. Langsdorff with the goal, and it's 1-0 Portland.
Timbers goal by number 28, Foster Langsdorff, assisted by number 80, Augustine Williams in the 34th minute.
And it starts with Mulligan. A great job from Williams, just using his body. A nice ball sent across right off the 6, and Langsdorff is just there to finish. He pops off his defender to give him a little bit of space to be able to finish that. But credit Augustine Williams, just the body positioning and the way he's able to turn and run onto that ball for the assist.
First career goal for Foster Langsdorff. And T2 takes a 1-0 advantage, approaching the late stages of the first half. And what a setup there by Williams as well. Langsdorff all alone, and someone as accomplished as him with the skill, they're going to bury it every time. OKC trying to answer. Gonzalez's cross is bodied out of bounds. So a throw in for OKC. 35th minute, Highland. It's headed right into the arms of Kendall McIntosh. You think back to OKC's opportunity early in the first half. Ibiaga, when things aren't going right, opportunities like that just seem to just not come through.
Especially when he was so open and had that chance. But then you can look at a ton of other opportunities from Oklahoma City. Maybe no other as clear-cut as that one, but they've had chances getting forward. They've been dangerous on corner kicks, second balls that have come out. They've had chances, and I don't think that's going to change throughout the rest of this half. Even in the second half, it just comes down to taking advantage of that and capitalizing.
So a couple of things that we had highlighted. Obviously, the first goal is so important in any match to any team, but for Steve Cook, kind of been the Achilles heel of the struggles so far for OKC over this 3-game losing streak. Hasn't been able to get that first tally, but on the other side for Portland, after the disappointment of the clean sheet on the road, but not coming away with a full 3 points, only the one because of the draw, and a scoreless draw, T2 now with a chance to play with a lead. Another corner, though, for OKC, and it's headed away by Portland. Phillips got ahead on it. Gonzalez taken away by Williams. Williamson, excuse me. Siage trying to get it to Highland. Last touch there by, looked like Portland, but they'll keep possession there.
One of the main differences I see right now is, first off, these teams play 2 different styles of soccer, but what you see with Augustine Williams is a big player playing big. He uses his speed, he's using his size. On the other side for Oklahoma City, you have a player like Jaime Siage, who's a big player, but he's kind of floating around a little bit. You have Jose Angulo, who isn't in the 18 tonight. Oklahoma City's missing that type of presence. You look at last year, and they had Vucic, just a big player who was scoring a ton of goals towards the end of the season, but always dangerous and threatening towards goal. And I think right now that's just something we're missing. We've seen great corners come in, but there's no big presence really threatening goal. We've seen Christian Ibiaga get forward, and he's a great addition, but you don't have that big forward consistently pressuring up high.
Here's a through ball, nicely done. A chance for Siage off the post. Oh, the bad luck continues for Energy FC. The pressure still on Baril, top of the 18, and he sends it high. Siage cannot believe it. Let's take another look.
He has had 2 chances where he slipped in behind. I love that. He's big, using his body. A little nudge creates enough space and separation for him to get that cross off. That's a good opportunity for him. He has had 2 really close chances. An unfortunate hit off that post, but Siaj is close. He's getting there, and I love the fact that he's been dangerous on the run twice so far.
We mentioned the quick answer in the match against Fresno. They scored 6 minutes after the opening tally. And there, OKC almost tying it up about 4 minutes late off the post. Now an OKC player is down. Didn't quite get a look at who it is. Might be Miguel Gonzalez.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The officials issued a yellow card to Portland Timbers to number 5, Vitotas Andriskavidis, in the 39th minute.
So Andriskavidis will pick up the yellow card. I'm going to give you a little peek behind the curtain here. Not a lot of information on Andriskavidis. He picks up the yellow there. He's on the Lithuanian national team. And it was nice to hear and get our pronunciation confirmed on his last name. It's a tough one. It's a very long last name. It's almost as long as the alphabet.
He has Vitas on his jersey.
That's what we're going to go with.
He's going to call him Vitas.
He picks up the yellow after the Gonzalez injury. Gonzalez does stay in, though. It's actually Barril, excuse me. But Barril also remains in the match. The first goal in the career of Foster Lansdorf. Here's another look at the yellow.
That's the second foul we've seen from Portland. I think it's just a coincidence, but from Vitas getting his hands out to Barril. Barril also has to put himself in a risky situation because Jonathan Brown heads that ball in the air. So you see Barril going into around 3 Portland players trying to challenge for that ball.
Mulligan went down on the foul from Gonzalez. 1-0 T2 on top of OKC as we reach the latter stages of the first half. Josh Appel, Morgan Conklin with you. So glad you could be with us tonight from Taft Stadium in Oklahoma City. Matt Van Oekel, the 31-year-old veteran of the MLS, of the USL. He's been around the block quite a few times. ESPN Plus, your new home for USL streaming, starts April 14th. That's next weekend. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com. ESPN Plus and USL, new partnership just announced a couple of days ago.
They have some really good information on the website, a frequently asked questions tab that really answers most of the common questions. So they've really broken it down to help fans understand.
Nice little flick there. Siaj looking for Barril. Off the back heel, but it goes out, and it'll be a throw-in for OKC as we approach the 42nd minute. Dixon to throw in. You see Langsdorff matched up with Guzman. Langsdorff, the lone goal scorer in the first half. The first of his career. Here's Gonzalez trying to settle it down. It's cleared away, and another throw-in for OKC.
The fact that Oklahoma City created anything from that is impressive. Miguel Gonzalez is able to somehow maintain possession.
Siaj along the goal line, but official says that it was over the goal line, and so it'll be a goal kick for McIntosh.
What I want to see a little bit more of from Oklahoma City is help around the ball. When Gonzalez was just at the corner of the 6, he's dancing around defenders trying to create something, and the only player that I really see move is Kyle Highland, a left back, getting forward, as if Gonzalez can somehow cross it over all of those players. So there needs to be a little, there's been good combinations in the middle, but as it goes forward, it's pretty individualistic, maybe with one other player helping. There needs to be more players getting forward to help out, especially with the quality of attackers that this energy team has.
Have you noticed a different emotion, different style from either team since that first goal?
No, I think right after the goal, we maybe saw a little bit more energy, no pun intended, from Oklahoma City. But that's one thing that we heard from Steve Cook. They're even-keeled, and they brought that high energy, that tempo early in the game. So even before that goal happened, we saw it, and we saw it after as well. So I wasn't surprised to see that happen because that's just what they brought to start this game. And with Portland, they've been playing pretty much with less of the possession for the most part of the game, and that hasn't really changed either since the goal happened.
That was something that OKC did in its last match too against Fresno, dominating the possession but still coming out on the losing end. Into the 44th minute, Foster Langsdorff at his first career tally as a professional has T2 on top. Vitas. Morelos is a proud partner of Energy FC. Get your grocery shopping done and buy your tickets to the next Energy FC home match at Supermercado Morelos stores on Southwest 59th and Santa Fe and Northwest 50th and Meridian. Played back by Portland. Phillips back for McIntosh. A little too tall there for Mulligan, and Highland in his first game back from injury has missed the last couple of matches. Sends it in. Ross for Dixon. Back for Ibiaga, who's had, besides Siaj, the best opportunity of the night for OKC. Ajay, some pressure, and he gets dispossessed, but takes it right back. Arboleda trying to make a move around him, and Langsdorff is going to get carded. Or is Arboleda going to get the yellow?
Ajay was so lucky that he was pulled down here and that he didn't get dispossessed early on. He cannot be caught with the ball at his feet. As a center back, you want to get the ball and move it to the other side. Any game, but especially when you're playing agast an Augustine Williams and these attackers that want to get after you and have the ability to close down.
1 minute of stoppage time.
FC2, number 28, Foster Langsdorff.
As Langsdorff is indeed the one who picked up the yellow.
Damas y caballeros, el árbitro está mostrando tarjeta de amonestación para el número 28 de los Portland Timbers, Langsdorff Foster. También el árbitro asistente está indicando que se agregará 1 minuto de compensación para este primer tiempo.
1 minute of extra time, 1-0 Portland Timbers 2 on top. Mulligan maybe hoping for one more opportunity before the half comes to a close. Kept in by Ibabasi. Into the corner, Dixon forcing him there. And they'll say last touch by Portland. And so OKC will have a chance at maybe one more rush before the end of the half. But they don't look like they're in all that much of a hurry here. And that will bring us to the end of half number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referees indicated at the beginning of the Fuzzy's Taco halftime show.
Foster's Langsdorff,
Portland 1,
the lone goal scorer in the
your
first
OKC
half.
Energy
Morgan,
FC,
your thoughts on the
nothing.
first 45 minutes?
Now let's go down to
That
Brent
goal was a
Skarkey with
letdown
Coach
for
Doug
Oklahoma
some
City,
words about
especially
the first
because it
half.
came off a throw-in and really came from nothing. Augustine Williams, a great turn, is able to get space, and then a simple finish from Langsdorff. But Oklahoma City has had chances. They've gotten numbers forward. It needs to be a little bit better around goal. The quality has to be there because they've had chances. They just haven't made them good enough.
Portland on top of OKC, 1-0 at half.
Coach, go.
In Ireland, the first Sisters of Mercy were called the Walking Sisters because every day they went out in search of women and children who needed healing or help. Mercy continues to answer the same call, dedicated to the health of every woman who comes to us for care. Mercy, in every era, your life is our life's work. Learn why we serve at mercy.net/legacy.
Success is achieved through hard work, and many business owners work tirelessly for years to realize the dream of franchising their business. FFB partners with companies of all sizes every day and offers an extensive variety of treasury services. FFB will outline a plan just for you, help you streamline cash flow, and monitor your business transactions. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB, we go where you go.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. You know, how long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now, I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
At the half, it's Portland Timbers 2-1, OKC Energy FC 0. Energy FC and one of Oklahoma's leading businesses, Devon Energy, have again partnered to showcase the Devon STEM Teacher of the Match. Devon is committed to helping communities inspire young people to pursue an interest in the disciplines of science, technology, engineering, and math. Each person recognized as the Devon STEM Teacher of the Match is recognized at an Energy FC match and receives a $1,000 scholarship for supplies. To learn more or to nominate a teacher, visit energyfc.com/STEM.
Devon and the Energy FC are committed to making Oklahoma's future a little brighter. Devon Energy STEM Teacher of the Match highlights a teacher making a difference in the lives of their students by teaching the lessons of science, technology, engineering, and math that are so important to the jobs of tomorrow. Recently, Devon and the Energy FC teamed up with Sunset Elementary in Edmond for an entire night of STEM fun. Parents got to join with their children, eat a little pizza, and dive into STEM learning, using soccer to learn about science, gravity games, robots programmed to score goals, math games to learn about probabilities, engineering catapults, and colorful computer coding.
I think it's important because we want all of our kids to have the opportunity to be exposed to the coding and programming technology that is up and coming. And we want our families to be able to see what we're doing at school each day, what their students are having an opportunity to learn about coding and programming and hopefully lead them into careers into that field. So we're excited about that.
STEM Night at Sunset Elementary in Edmond. Another example of the Energy FC growing the game and the minds of Oklahoma's future. For Energy FC TV, I'm Brent Skarkey.
When we come back after this break, we'll hear from USL President Jake Edwards. Our score at the half, Portland Timbers 2-1, OKC Energy FC 0.
Hi, we're being joined today by Jake Edwards, president of the USL. Just getting ready to kick off an exciting 2018 season. Jake, thank you very much for joining us today.
Great, my pleasure.
You know, we're getting ready to kick off the 2018 USL season, but this year has also been very crucial for the successful launch of USL Division 3. Talk to us about, you know, the league and kind of the steps that are taking place to get ready to kick a ball with them next year.
Yeah, that's a great deal of work that's gone into that so far. It's been a 2-year project, and we're kicking off in 19. Very excited. It's a significantly important step that we're taking here because there needs to be more professional soccer. There are a significant number of communities and fans that don't have access to a professional team of their own. And there's an opportunity there to go into these communities. We want professional soccer clubs that are going to be here for many years to come. And we'll follow the same model with the right ownership, with the right venue, and with you know, great professional players now between the 2 professional divisions, and also with our pre-professional league, our PDL, our Elite Amateur Under 23 League. Now with the 3 properties, you'll actually see more integration of these leagues. Division 3 is going to have a huge impact on the growth of the sport.
What does Jake as president think about when you're looking ahead for the next decade? What are some initiatives that you kind of see on the horizon?
We set a long-term strategic plan out that took us through 2020. Some of those projects are going to carry on beyond that. There'll be some more expansion into the USL for Division 3. It's the continuation of our soccer-specific stadium push to get all of our teams playing in those venues. Again, continue to focus on the competition level, continue to attract quality players and world-class stars into the league, and coaches as well. You know, a large part of what we're going to be focusing now is on the commercial growth and the media growth of the league, as we've built significant interest and significant quality, and there's a lot of people that want the content now, and so we're going to be unveiling a lot of new partners over the coming 12 to 24 months. So there's a big area of focus there for the league, and ultimately the fans. You know, keep servicing the fans, keep engaging with the fans, keep giving the fans more and more great professional soccer for them to come out and support.
Great to hear from USL President Jake Edwards on the happenings around the league. At halftime in Oklahoma City, Portland Timbers 2 on the first goal in the career of Foster Langsdorff. Leads OKC Energy FC 1-0. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Josh Bell, Morgan Conklin with you. And OKC dominated most of the possession, but they find themselves on the short end of the stick after 45 minutes, but they did have their opportunities early on.
And Jaime Siaj was the player that brought a lot of those chances. A really nice job touching, just gets his touch too far ahead of him, and then I love this ball from Miguel Gonzalez, the way he slips it in. A great run from Jonathan Brown, one of the many corner kicks that they created.
Here's a corner for Portland, and Matt Van Oekel tested there, able to fight through the traffic and make the stop to keep it in the time, but was a scoreless match. Here's one of the main opportunities really early on that we saw. Ibiaga had a wide open chance just to the right of the goal and couldn't cash in.
And this ball over the top caught the Oklahoma City backline a couple times. Augustine Williams gets in behind, uses his pace, just balls, mishits it, caught off balance, but going the other way, Jaime Siaj, great touch with his left foot to bring it to his right. Wanted to hit it with his laces, just got it on the outside of his foot, so it wasn't a clean finish. That's when he's going to want back, because he's made that run a couple times.
Here's the goal for Portland. You see Langsdorff going into the middle, settling down. A goal scorer's goal, if I've ever seen one.
And Augustine Williams just using his body to turn. Ibiaga doesn't stay with his runner, which is Langsdorff. He pops off to give himself more space central, and a nice finish. But once again, going the other way, Siaj uses his body, creates space, gets a little nudge in, the ball on his right foot, puts a really nice shot on frame, but unfortunately hits that far post.
Some of the first half numbers for you. Obviously, we see the possession numbers. We talked about it. OKC leading in possession, 7 shots to 3, but none on target really besides the one that hit the post, and 3 shots on target for T2.
I was keeping an eye on the stats throughout the first half, and as it came to an end, that is exactly where my eye went. The 7 shots for Oklahoma City, but 0 on target. And then you look at Portland Timbers, 3 and 3. 100%, you can't get any better than that. So for Oklahoma City, they have the possession, they have more shots, they've created more chances, but like I said, they haven't capitalized on them, so it has to be cleaner.
So Steve Cook, in his first season as the head coach, we talked to him earlier this week, staying even keeled, his team down 1-0 in the middle of this 3-game losing streak. We'll talk more about maybe what he said to his team at the break when we come back to Oklahoma City. T2 on top, 1-0.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. You know, how long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now. I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
When that hurricane hit, the entire community came together as a whole. It was such an overwhelming response to help others. No one thought that they were going to do this before it happened, and everyone just did it. I think that's the way that human nature should be looked at.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you.
Hi, I'm Ed Land, owner of the Buffalo.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City. 1-0 your score at half. T2 on top of Energy FC. Josh Appel, Morgan Conklin with you, and let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for both sides. Start with T2. They go back home for the first time in a long time. They've been on the road since March 16th. 5 straight on the road before 3 consecutive matches up in Oregon. They'll start with Rio Grande Valley FC on the 18th, followed by Reno 1868 FC before closing the homestand with Sacramento Republic FC. And a win tonight could certainly set the tone going back home for 3 home matches.
And so far, they've gotten 4 points on the road with 1 win and 1 tie out of those. So they've gotten some points on the road, which is tough. They have to take advantage of the chances that they have at home.
Tough slate coming up for OKC Energy FC, especially if they're unable to snap the 3-game losing streak. They go at Swope Park Rangers. That's a rivalry match on April 14th next Saturday before returning home for a match against St. Louis FC on the 21st. You know, looking at these 2 schedules, Morgan, how cluttered everything is for Portland and for OKC, kind of spread out a little bit. Only 1 game a week so far, but Portland's in the midst of a 3-match and 8-day stretch.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. We see some teams so far over the course of the season have only played 2 games, and then we see some who have played 5 on the road. So it all evens out at the end, but it comes down to when you're home, getting points, and when you're on the road, picking up when you can. Obviously, you want to win all the time. You always want to get points, but you have to take advantage of the games that you have at home. And when you go on the road like Portland right now, if they can get a 3 points here, they've done their job on the road to get 2 wins and a draw.
So what's the mindset for Steve Cook's squad? Because we talked with him, the importance of the first goal of the match. They obviously didn't get it here. They're trying to stop a 3-match losing streak. What is his message to his team? We'll get to it after these news and notes from around the league. And there were 10 teams left unbeaten entering this weekend, 5 from each conference. A record-setting home opener for Indy 11. How about Lucas Oil Stadium packing 17,535 fans in there for their home opener? A great scene there. Watch their match, that first one. And then Super Y League's best players arrive in Arizona as Phoenix Rising FC hosts in the 2018 USL Experience kicks off. Phoenix Rising FC. So those are your news and notes from around the USL. Back to our match here in Oklahoma City. We were talking about it a little bit, but if you're Steve Cook, what's your message to the team as you get this second half about to get underway?
Even-keeled. That's how he coaches. That's how they look at each game, and that's what he's telling his team at halftime. We have to play how we were playing, but capitalize. So the goal happened. Yes, you have to move past it. And this is a team that they did that during the game, which was nice. They continued to play their style. They had a couple chances, but you have to execute the chances. And for a team that's having trouble scoring, they're doing a good job creating, but it just comes down to the finish. And it sounds so simple, but it takes one person to step up and finish.
The OKC faithful at Taft Stadium hoping to see their club open up the second half strong. At least find the equalizer. Maybe scratch across one more to come away with 3 points. But at the very least, a draw would at least put the losing streak to an end. The winless streak would continue, but at least the losing streak would be over. OKC dominated possession in the first half, but Portland able to grab possession right away. Arboleda down the far side. Guzman in the middle. Highland in his first match. Missed the last 2 games, dealing with a head injury, and here comes OKC. Brown. Dixon tried to make a run, but it was played away nicely by Vitas. Energy FC's next home match is Saturday, April 21st against rival Swope Park Rangers. This is their first meeting since Swope defeated Energy FC in a dramatic penalty shootout in the 2017 Western Conference Finals. For more information about becoming an Energy FC member, bringing a group to a match, or single game tickets, call 235-KICK. Just underway in the second half. Foster Langsdorff, first goal of his professional career. Standout from Stanford, winning 3 straight national titles. Has put his team on top, 1-0. Team that finished 3-23-6 a season ago. Trying to get 2/3 of the way to matching their win total from 2017 if they can hang on the road tonight. Arboleda gets around Ajay. Langsdorff almost had a chance there, but it was played away nicely by Dixon. Baril to the far side. Gonzalez puts on the brakes, and he's whistled for the foul. Williamson. Dixon getting handsy with Ebabasi, and he is whistled for the foul. A lot of international flavor on both sides, but specifically OKC. The reason I bring it up, we see Vitas from Lithuania in the shot there, but OKC with 11 different countries represented on the club, whether it's a player or somebody on the staff. Soccer, of course, the world's game, so go figure. Easy there for Van Oekel, who's trying to return to form from a couple of years ago. In 2016, was named the NASL Golden Glove winner, led the league in goals against average and save percentage. With FC Edmonton, had 16 clean sheets, but really struggled a season ago in 2017. Here's Williamson through the middle. On the rush for T2, Arboleda. And you can just see, not just here, but the effect that Highland has defensively.
Kyle Highland is so good at those recovery runs. Williamson did a great job of winning the ball centrally for Portland, getting forward, and the ball that he played wide to Arboleda was a little soft. It didn't have enough pace on it, so granted, it gave Kyle Highland a little bit more time to get back. but the way that he tracks and then is just ready to defend against Arboleda, who's not an easy person to stop, it's really impressive because he tracks and then he gets into tackles when needed.
OKC in search of the equalizer. Can they find it on this rush? Siaj has had 2 great chances tonight, but hasn't been able to cash in. Working against Vitas on the corner. Left-footed cross, nobody home. Mulligan able to send it out.
I like the fact that Siaj floats wide and he's not afraid to go 1v1. But I've said it a couple times, what lets this Oklahoma City team down is when that ball is played in, they don't have size in the box. They have Jonathan Brown, he's 5'11", but then you look and you have Miguel Gonzalez, who's 5'8". So if that ball is played in the air for a header, it's difficult for them to win it, especially going against some of these Portland center backs.
Throw in here for T2. Vitas taking his time. Guzman for Ross. Into the middle for Gonzalez. Trying to play it ahead for Siaj, but some miscommunication there. Baril for Jonathan Brown. Baril in the corner. A smart play. Draws the corner kick.
That's the second or third time that these Oklahoma City players have gotten forward and have been stuck in an individual battle, really with nowhere to go, but they've created something from it. And they get another corner. Gonzalez's service has been pretty good. It's been in the box, but they need to help one another. They're getting stuck too often with no options.
Just wide by Siaj again.
That is what I like to see, though. Siaj, a big body in the box. The ball's served in, a nice drop from Gonzalez. It comes to the near post. That's a tough angle. Siaj does a nice job of redirecting it, but he's so close to the near post that to get it on target, he almost has to completely turn and try to open up his body, which is just difficult being so close to the near post.
Siaj with maybe the best chances of anybody on either side tonight. Of course, besides Langsdorff, who was able to cash in on his. Siaj has hit the post, and he sent a couple wide. Ajay goes down. And a chance here for Portland. And it's 2-0. T2 on a defensive lapse from OKC has stretched the lead to 2. Arboleda with the tally. His second of the year.
This ball that was played through happened so quickly. Williams, all he needed was a touch to get there. But you see getting caught Ajay. He's just caught off balance, and he's the player that's supposed to step to that ball. Ibiaga's dropping off because he's ready for the ball to come in behind, but no one's able to address Williams because Ajay fell. A broken play a little bit. Van Oekel does what he can by closing off the angle, but a nice finish from Arboleda.
Arbeleda's second of the season, first of the game. Langsdorff with the first one in the first half. And T2 now up by 2. And another defensive miscue here for OKC. And look how far Van Oekel had to come out off his line. You think of the missed chances for OKC in the midst of a 3-match losing streak. When things go wrong, they go wrong, and you don't get the bounces. You know, maybe if they had won a couple in a row. Maybe the one off the post earlier from Siaj goes in. Maybe the one on the corner. Maybe it finds its way to the back of the net. Little things. And, of course, Ajay losing his footing, leading to that second goal.
Well, in talking about little things, that's kind of what's let them down. In terms of the buildup, it's been a touch maybe a little too far. A ball played not at the right angle or not with enough pace so it doesn't get there. It's just been small things that have added up to the frustration of not being able to finish.
And when you think about where this team finished a season ago, as Gonzalez is offside. But you look at where they were a season ago, falling in PKs in the Western Conference Final, to how they've started this season. You'd figure a switch has to come on at some point. And maybe it's just the players trying to figure out the system from Steve Cook in his first season as head coach. But this team has talent. They haven't bitten by the injury bug. Two of their top playmakers out with injury tonight. We've talked about Jose Angulo and how on fire he was to finish the 2017 season. He's out tonight. An adductor strain injury for him. And Francis Tuahine, as Kendall McIntosh receives a yellow. But Tuahine out as well. He's dealing with calf tightness. And he has one of the goals this year for OKC. Production from two guys, it's really tough to make up. And you almost have to play perfect to win in spite of that, but tonight just hasn't been that for OKC. That one sails over the touchline. It'll be a goal kick for Van Oekel.
And if you look at their 2017 season, it took them a couple weeks really to get going, and then they had a lapse in the middle of the season where they were really looking for a win. I remember speaking with Jimmy Nielsen and asking, you know, what's it going to take for this team? And he was pretty much similar about keeping even keeled and it's going to come and stuff like that. But obviously it doesn't help when a key player or players you don't have due to injury and you're waiting for them to come back to make an impact, but you also need the team that you currently have to produce.
Looks like we're going to get another card here. Vitas also down, clutching his leg. It looked like for a moment the referee was going to hand out a yellow. There was a collision and a whistle. See where they're conversing right now. But no card yet. And you know, it's easy to say, let's stay even keeled. Can't get too high, can't get too low. But when you're in the midst of the longest losing streak since 2015, it's hard, as we see the hometown kid, Lamar Batista, check in as a substitute for the first time for Portland Timbers 2. And what a story, Lamar Batista from Oklahoma City, very close to this organization, and now a homecoming for the youngster, 20 years old, named to the USL 20 under 20. A whistle in the penalty area. OKC thinks it's against Portland Timbers 2. But the whistle was on OKC.
If I'm Christian Ibiaga, I am frustrated there. He does a great job of using his body to get central on Mulligan, and Mulligan is on the outside of him, grabbing and pulling him down. I don't think it was completely obvious that he dragged him down, but with the size difference and the way that Mulligan was on the outside, he pulled him. And if I'm Christian Ibiaga, he has every right to be frustrated, because I would be too.
Barril. That was offside.
Jose Barril is so good at playing those little slip balls, but sometimes he just takes one touch too many. And in that moment, Jonathan Brown was just a touch offside because he kept running with it. So for Barril, it comes down to decision-making and being on the same page, because Brown wanted that a step earlier. And it was a great ball. It just took too long.
The Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earns them discounts at several metro area locations like Carl's Plaques, The Soccer Store, Dental Works, and Movie Central and Flower Boutique in Tuttle. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold. Gonzalez in the middle. OKC trying to claw their way back into this. Too far for Brown.
That is such a good buildup, and when it comes wide to Dixon, you see Brown making that run towards the corner, but Siage is central and is calling for the ball, so it's missing Brown, skipping that first forward and whipping it into the space of Siage. He would have been in behind the defense. He was ready for that run, and that's just when Dixon needs to pick his head up and maybe look off that ball to Brown, so the defenders slide and then whip it into Siage.
Langsdorf went down. Talking about Lamar Batista, named 8th on the USL's 20 under 20 list. And, you know, we had a nice conversation with Steve Cook of OKC Energy FC just about Lamar Batista, the Oklahoma City native. And he had some really interesting things to say. He's a very important part of the soccer culture in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and Josh Evans with their PR added into that just how his success just shows what can happen in this Oklahoma City youth system. And they're making some strides with their youth, and he's just went and played in college at UCSB Santa Barbara, had that 1 year, and then has been with this Portland system. And it just shows what can happen when you work hard and when you're given an opportunity, and he just took advantage of it.
You know, the goal eventually for OKC is to have a youth system on the men's side of their own. And so when a guy like Lamar Batista, who goes to high school, plays at a high level in Oklahoma City, he can stay in the Oklahoma City system and work his way up and be the hometown soccer player. And look, there's 4 guys on this OKC roster that are from within 25 minutes of Taft Stadium. A couple of guys from Edmond, Oklahoma, but a couple from Oklahoma City as well. They want to keep that hometown flavor.
And this Oklahoma City Energy, they have boys soccer, but it just comes down to the level in which it plays. I mean, nowadays, I don't even know what the youth play in. It's changed so much from when I played. So it's just keeping up with how it continues to change, and Oklahoma City is doing that to keep up with the strides because youth soccer now is just growing, and there's so many levels. And Batista, like you said, is an example that he played at a high level in the Oklahoma City area, was successful in college, and in 1 year is now playing in the USL.
Into the 64th minute, tallies from Langsdorf and Arboleda. First in the career of Langsdorf, and for Arboleda, his second of the season. Not the homecoming that OKC would have liked. Nice play there.
Very uncharacteristic giveaway from Guzman, but Baril, a nice job getting low to win the ball back. I love the effort that we've seen from Oklahoma City defensively when they lose it to get it back as fast as possible.
It's gotten very quiet at Taft Stadium. Time running out for the home side. They can get a quick one here. They've got plenty of time for the equalizer, but easier said than done. Langsdorf with a through ball. OKC recovered nicely there.
That was a textbook buildup from Portland there. The ball played through. Renzo Zambrano just steps out of the way, so it passes him and goes on to Foster Langsdorf, who's then able to create even more going forward. Oklahoma City is caught out of position. They were expecting Zambrano to win that ball in the midfield, but by him just stepping aside, it creates something totally different.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention,
Substitute
please. Substitution for your
OKC Energy FC. Ima Tumasi comes in.
Number 17.
He's with
Jonathan
Energy FC
Brown.
on loan from FC Dallas.
Number 11, Alex Dixon.
Alex Dixon will also enter. He replaces Miguel Gonzalez.
Replacing number 10, Miguel Gonzalez.
So Gonzalez
Time of both substitutions in
and
the
Brown
66th
exit.
minute.
And Tumasi and Dixon substitute in. Long ball ahead, looking for Tumasi. You just wonder if Siaj was able to capitalize on one of the chances he had earlier, maybe Ibeagha in the first 15 minutes, if maybe this match would have turned out a little differently for OKC. It's amazing how that first goal and that first chance can really set the tone for the rest of the night.
Yeah, but it also comes down to doing the little things. You see right there, Ajay wins the ball, is high up in the center of the midfield, tries to dribble out, loses the ball, and then Oklahoma City's tracking back once again. So it comes down to decision-making, and yes, taking advantage of those chances, but also doing the little things right. And passing out of pressure, not dribbling. One, it takes less pressure. It takes the pressure off you because you can pass, not have to beat all these defenders. And it's smarter. It forces the other team to move more than just defend in a small area.
Steve Cook hoping for a spark with Dixon and Tumasi entering the match. Another thing that's so impressive about Lamar Batista, just his size at 20 years old, 6'5", 180. And that's someone who clearly can probably put on a couple more pounds as he matures, only 20 years old.
But he definitely has the height and has the frame.
You can see why people locally in Oklahoma City were so excited about him. And you know, it's unfortunate that he has to go all the way out to the northwest coast, northwest really, to play. Because that's someone who you can really, you know, homegrown talent there. Who knows, maybe down the line something lines up and the stars align and he can play for the hometown club. Ross for Dixon. There are two Dixons on the pitch right now for OKC. No relation, though, in case you were wondering. Baril. Back for Dixon. Now Guzman.
Oklahoma City has committed so many numbers forward, but it's hard to connect because of the numbers that Portland has behind the ball.
Dixon. Oh, a good chance there, but thwarted by McIntosh. Plucked that out of the air.
I really like that quick ball played into Alex Dixon because he's really quick. So he has the ability to get to it and also play it back across as quickly as possible, which is one of his big attributes, especially looking at how much space he had to play there. Not very much, as the end line was right there.
Little too tall for Siaj. Possession seems a bit more even here in this second half compared to the first. Foul against OKC.
It was a matter of time for that to be called. There were about 3 or 4 tackles where Oklahoma City was a step behind and not there when they needed to be, which led to being chipped and clipping. But for these last 20 minutes, Oklahoma City needs to have their minds right. They have to time things better, do the little things right, connect passes, because they need to get some sort of points at home. Because next week they go on the road, which we mentioned, but to face Swope Park, who they had a crazy game against last year in the Western Conference Finals. Swope Park was able to take it 7-6 in PKs that went down to the goalkeepers. So there's history there. This is a game that they need to get points to have confidence going in. Because if they don't go in confident to Swope, that's a tough game. This is a team that's already scored 4 goals in two separate games. They've scored in each of their games so far. So they're going to play against a strong team. So defensively, they need to gain some momentum in this game today against Portland to take with them next week.
I'll tell you what, though, Portland's been a difficult squad to score against. They already have 2 clean sheets on the year, including one in the last matchup. A 0-0 draw against Tulsa Roughnecks.
Portland has shown that they're not the same team that they were last year.
I think it's pretty clear.
It's so clear. And teams, I don't think teams are taking them lightly, but sometimes you have that little bit in the back of your mind knowing they only won 3 games last year, but in no way can any of their opponents come into a game against Portland thinking that.
Well, especially on a night like tonight, if you're OKC and you've lost 3 straight, I'm not really sure that they're in the position to potentially take somebody lightly.
And I don't think they were. You could see off the bat. Absolutely. You could see right off the bat that they had chemistry. They were moving the ball. They had that even-keeled mentality, even when the first goal was scored on. After the second, it's been a bit more frantic. I think that also has to do with substitutions and just changing players.
Could this be a chance? Deflected. And into the safe arms of Kendall McIntosh. Tumasi fired that one on goal. Never got there.
Jaime Siage is upset, kicking the goalpost. He's frustrated. He's been working hard, and oftentimes I think he needs to stay a little more central, especially if there's new players that come in, and Alex Dixon can be dangerous on the wing. Let him run up and down. Keep the big body central.
How can that help him staying central?
He's a target for any ball that comes in, whether it's a cross, whether it's a ball to his feet as he checks central. He has the ability to turn and be good with the ball at his feet. So if he can get it central and turn and face his defender, he can have the ball at his feet and go right from the middle of the park. He can go any side he wants, but if he starts wide, he's isolating himself from the bat.
Tumasi off the bench as a substitute here in the second half. We're in the 73rd minute. Langsdorff and Arboleda, the 2 goal scorers. Ross goes down. Tumasi against Mulligan. Nicely defended. Arboleda slowed momentarily and taken away by Guzman. Ross. That ball off target.
You can see Oklahoma City searching for a goal. It's getting a bit frantic. They're not just taking care of the ball. Callum Ross gives one away, then gets it back. A great job from Juan Pablo Guzman winning that tackle, and then he gets it back and plays another 50-50. I think another thing when it comes to decision-making, it's apparent that Lamar Batista has come in at left back for Portland. You're not going to play the ball over him. He's 6'5". Maybe that long ball shouldn't go there. Keep it on the ground, bring it around, because that far one isn't going to, it's going to get stopped by him every single time.
Justin Chavez checks in for Oklahoma City.
Justin Chavez.
Chavez, an OKC native, spent the last 3 seasons with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Attended, we talked about some of the local flavor. He attended Edmond Memorial High School, which is about 25 minutes away, and played his college ball at Tulsa. And so he sees his first action tonight. Maybe he can provide the spark.
And you see once again Batista winning that ball over the top.
It'll be a corner for OKC.
I like the fact that Richard Dixon is getting forward. I think he still needs to get forward, but he has to change up his run. It can't always be to the outside of Batista.
Highland, he's been quiet the last 10, 15 minutes. Here comes T2 on the counter. Batista. And a nice save by Van Oekel, but it'll be a corner for T2.
Kyle Highland is frustrated. He was tripped up as the transition happened as he was trying to track back. But a great save from Van Oekel, a nice touch. you see Van Oekel, his body is cutting off that far post where he needs to be, but the ball comes a bit near post, and he's able to get down low and push it wide. Langsdorff, once again, getting in with the chance on goal.
He has an opportunity, Langsdorff, to be one of the more prolific scorers, it feels like, in the USL this season. And once he gets adjusted really to the pace of this game, as the season wears on, I mean, the Pac-12 Player of the Year at Stanford, winning 3 straight national titles. That one just sent wide. I mean, you look at the records that he holds there, goals and assists in the Pac-12 in his career.
Well, and what I've seen from him so far tonight is that he puts himself in good positions. And that's what you see out of a good player. The finishing will come, and the ability that his ability to score will come just at this higher level. But the fact that he puts himself in a position to succeed and to be dangerous and to threaten goal, that's what sets him apart right now.
You could certainly see him moving up to MLS at some point. Here's Dixon with some space, cuts it towards the middle. A Mercy physician can keep you at the top of your game. Find your doctor at mercy.net/topgame. At Mercy, your life is our work. 77th minute at Taft Stadium in Oklahoma City. A chilly night in Oklahoma. Josh Appel and Morgan Conklin with you. Langsdorff, just talking about him, he scored the first one for T2. And Arboleda, early in this second half, was able to stretch it to a 2-0 advantage. Disappointing night, to say the least, for Steve Cook's club. They had their chances to get on the score sheet. They've sent one off the post. They've sent a couple just a couple of feet wide. And since then, really haven't been able to muster up as many quality chances. And we'll see another substitution here.
Portland substitution. Number 77, Andre Lewis, replacing number 40, Renzo Zambrano in the 78th.
So Lewis comes in for Zambrano. Lewis has had a nice start to the season, leading at Portland and tied for 5th in USL with 9 chances created in his 4 starts. He also leads the team in tackles 1. He sees his first action tonight in the 78th minute.
Andre Lewis was a player I was looking forward to seeing. I expected him to start just based on how the last 4 games went, but I was looking forward to seeing him just based on his stats and rankings so far early in the season. The frustration is starting to come out for these energy players. You can see it just with that simple throw-in played to a player in an offside position. It's just not paying attention, and it's frustrating because you're so close to goal. It can create an opportunity, but Richard Dixon to Alex Dixon, he's just a step beyond. And that happens at times, but as these last 10 or so minutes go on, Oklahoma City has to stay turned on to this game. They have to stay focused, because there's still time. They can at least get 1 goal here.
Give themselves a chance.
To give them that momentum. And that second goal, I think, really is where we saw the shift in terms of what Oklahoma City, what their play looked like. But they brought in players that are game changers. They can make a difference, and they have time to do so.
Three-game losing streak for OKC, and barring something miraculous, looks like that might be stretched to 4, but again, we've got a little over 20 minutes. Stranger things have happened. T2 looking for its 2nd consecutive clean sheet and the 3rd of the year. Chavez for a moment looked like he had some space, but it's taken away. Williamson was getting abused there. Another player behind went down as well. Looks like Langsdorff. No? Mulligan, actually. It's been a bit physical tonight on both sides.
From that angle, I think Mulligan did a nice job acting. The other one, I wouldn't say so much. But he's a player that's been quiet this second half. Didn't get forward as often as he did in the first half. Kyle Highland hasn't had to deal with him as much. We haven't seen the issue with Highland and Gonzalez earlier having to deal with Mulligan getting up.
T2 in no hurry, of course, as we approach the 82nd minute. Well, if OKC is going to do anything in these last 10+ minutes, they're going to have to go now. No time to waste. Chavez. That's not going to do it.
I completely agree that as the game goes on, you have to push the pace and you have to play a bit more direct, but that doesn't mean you have to force it every single time. I think there's a time and a place, and if Chavez can connect that ball more in the middle, granted it has to do with what's around him. Does he have options? But if he can connect that and then build up and have a higher percentage pass, rather than just trying to play a 50-50 over the back line, which over the almost 82 minutes, we've seen is that this Portland back line is probably going to win most of the 50-50 balls that are played in the air.
When OKC gets a Tuahine and Angulo back, how much do you think that changes their prospects going forward?
Well, I can speak to Jose Angulo and just his presence from last year. He is a goal scorer, and he's dangerous in the box, and he'll score anything that drops at his feet.
Langsdorff goes down. And a yellow to Dixon. OKC can't believe it. And I'll tell you what, both sides have drawn the ire of our referee tonight. Ibeagha pleading the case, Chavez pleading the case. What do you think?
I don't agree with that call at all. Does Langsdorff get tripped up? Yes. Does Dixon pull him down? No. I think he's using his body. Langsdorff has his arms out as well. He's creating his space. Dixon is getting back. He's on the inside trying to just fight his way central. I don't think he pushes him. I think he uses his body there, especially with the fact that with the foul, the no foul on Christian Ibeagha earlier, that wasn't called. I am very surprised.
And so it's a PK for the hometown kid, Lamar Batista. And it's 3-0, Portland Timbers 2. Batista in his homecoming scores on the PK.
Portland Timbers goal.
Richard Dixon with the yellow, and Batista takes advantage on the PK, and that will just about ice it. Van Oekel got a piece, but not enough. And you've got to feel great for Batista in his return to Oklahoma City as a professional.
That's a special moment for Batista to be able to step up. He's confident, hits it well. Nice job from Van Oekel to get to the right side, gets a piece, but just with the way that Batista hit it, a little higher so it's not directly at Van Oekel's arm's reach. A nice finish, and for Oklahoma City, that is so frustrating, especially if you're Richard Dixon. You're fighting back. You have to be careful around the box. Personally, I do not think that is a foul. I think it's one that Oklahoma City fans definitely say no. Portland fans definitely say yes, just because it's in the box. But I think it's two players fighting for the ball.
I think the referee might have been fooled by the angle there, too, that he saw that from. Nonetheless, I mean, you think of the luck and the bounces that haven't gone the way of OKC tonight. They've hit a post. They sent a couple high. And that's just kind of the way things fall when you're in the midst of a losing streak.
And sometimes that's what happens, and it's when it's more important to have that even-keeled mentality and to just focus on doing what you do well, and focusing on the positives. What did we do well tonight? We possessed well in the first half. Okay, move on from that. We created chances. Did we finish them? No, but we created them. Okay, take that and go to the next game. And it's frustrating when you're in a bit of a slump like this. You're right. Things tend to just snowball. And the bad seems to happen. The bad bounces seem to happen. The unfortunate parts just seem to keep happening.
And that kind of feels like what's happened here. ESPN Plus is the new streaming home of the USL in the United States. Watch all the action throughout the 2018 regular season and USL Cup playoffs starting Saturday, April 14th. Visit USLsoccer.com for more details. Everybody is excited about the partnership with ESPN Plus, and we couldn't be more excited for it either. Into the 87th minute at Taft Stadium. Langsdorff, Arboleda, and the hometown kid, Lamar Batista, with the tallies tonight for T2. Siaj made a run there, almost got through, and now he has a shot. Was he onside? No. McIntosh with a nice effort anyways. So for T2 up next, after this 5-game road trip comes to a close tonight, they go home for 3 straight. First on April 18th against Rio Grande Valley FC. 3 days later on the 21st against Reno 1868 FC before finishing up the homestand on May 2nd against Sacramento. And it doesn't get any easier for OKC Energy FC. Swope Park Rangers on the docket next, on the road next Saturday. Rematch of the Western Conference Finals that Swope Park took in PKs. Sent in and sent out momentarily. Barril settles it down. But he's dispossessed. Nice ball there. And a chance, but Van Oekel off his line, able to put a stop to it. Got a turnover. Williamson trying to get around Highland, but again, something you've highlighted throughout the night, his recovery.
And also something I've highlighted that I'm going to go back to, the decision-making from Oklahoma City has been poor at moments. You see Christian Abiaga earlier having his hands on a player, fouling him, not needed. Then the ball comes in, and a player chooses to chest it down rather than just clear it out of his own 18, a J when the ball comes to him. The ball falls to Jose Barril. He's trying to dribble out right around the top of his box. At that moment, he needs to clear it so they can reset. Just comes down to decision-making, especially at the end of this game when they're struggling.
Sometimes keeping it simple is the best method. Here's a cross, headed away. Nifty little play there by Siaj. Into the 90th minute. Three minutes of stoppage time will be added once we hit the 90th minute, or complete the 90th minute, I should say. In this 3-0 game in favor of T2. An off night for OKC, and the winless streak about to reach 4 for T2 after a 3-win season last season. As Highland, maybe something brewing for OKC. Low cross, and it's handled by McIntosh. But a 3-win season in 2017, once they get through tonight and hang on, it'll be win number 2 through 5 games.
Going to that last play from Kyle Highland, I love the way he gets forward. And that ball, ideally I'd like it farther off the end line so the keeper has to make a decision, but I don't mind it because he had players in the area. Tumasi was there, maybe could have gotten a poke on the ball. But I like the fact that in these last 3 minutes, you see him getting forward. And that was something with Oklahoma City last year. They fell a couple times in the 90th or in extra time, but also they had a couple wins late in the game, didn't give up. This one's a little frustrating, but they can still take that with them. I like the fact they've had a few opportunities late in the game.
Well, you know that a guy like Steve Cook is going to try and draw the positives out of a match like this and maybe point more towards the first half. A late chance here for Portland on the rush. And Highland again recovers beautifully. Exceptional job on Arboleda, who has a goal tonight.
That little pass from Burrill to get the ball forward to Alex Dixon is exactly what I was asking for earlier. There's no need to dribble out. Just play the ball. It moves faster when you pass it.
Tumasi trying to do it all himself. Battling with Batista. And it'll be a goal kick. Tumasi and Batista exchanging some words. You love to see, you know, this match has been all but decided, but you'd like to see both teams still playing hard until the final whistle blows. And even though it's not the result OKC Energy wanted, you have a week now to regroup and get things settled before the big rivalry matchup against Swope Park Rangers.
Absolutely, and they're going to be able to really regroup and look forward to that one as they go on the road. But what I've been so impressed with is Portland's performance, playing their 5th game on the road out of 5.
3 matches in 8 days. Here's a chance. Just wide. And the theme of the night continues. Again, it was Ibiaga who had that early chance.
And that's a cluster in that area. It's tough to get a good look on goal, but Ibiaga is able to rise above the other players, connect with that ball, just misses wide, like you said. They've had chances and just haven't been able to convert them.
And there is the final whistle. This one comes to a close. Your final. Portland Timbers FC2 comes on the road and takes down OKC Energy FC by a score of 3-0. The Energy FC Man of the Match is brought to you by Mass Mutual of Oklahoma. Let's go ahead and award Man of the Match tonight from OKC, Jaime Siaj. Siaj had plenty of opportunities tonight for OKC, just couldn't quite cash in. There, his best one, clanking one off the post, and you got to wonder how much different tonight could have gone had that one found the back of the net.
Siaj was busy, especially in the first half when Oklahoma City had a little bit more energy. He was really the guy that they were looking to. He created a lot from tough angles, which was impressive because that's not an easy way to score. You saw him moving, found his way center a little bit in the second half, which I really wanted to see more of. But a nice job from Siaj. I want to see how he does, though, when we get a Jose Angulo back, when we get a big target forward to work with him.
We'll be back in just a moment for the Centec post-game show right after these messages. Portland Timbers 2-3, OKC Energy FC 0 is your final.
When that hurricane hit, the entire community came together as a whole. It was such an overwhelming response to help others. No one thought that they were going to do this before it happened, and everyone just did it. I think that's the way that human nature should be looked at.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you.
well's output is only as strong as landing the production stream. In extreme conditions, call for extreme durability. At Syntec, our engineers understand what matters. That's why we craft centralizers differently than anyone else in the industry. Laser cut from a single piece of special steel alloy. There's only one centralizer this strong. Syntec Centralizers, an international symbol of quality.
Welcome to the Energy FC postgame show, brought to you by Syntec. OKC Energy FC falls tonight to Portland Timbers 2, 3-0, along with Morgan Conklin. I'm Josh Appel, and Morgan, a tough night for OKC Energy FC. A chance to snap a 3-game losing streak. Unfortunately, it's now on to 4 straight.
And it's a frustrating one, but they saw a Portland team that came in ready to get 3 points. Early on, Portland getting towards the goal, their forwards were busy tonight. Oklahoma City, though, Miguel Gonzalez was very busy sending in corners. They had a ton of opportunities. One of the best was from Christian Ibiaga as the ball slid to that far post. But also Jaime Siaj, he was able to get to this back line, get in between and find space a couple times. One of his 2 breakaway chances that he had, but the bounce just didn't go his way. On the other side, though, Augustine Williams able to turn. The bounce does go his way, leading to the first goal of the night for Portland with Foster Langsdorff.
Langsdorff with the first of his career. The standout from Stanford, Victor Arboleda, later on able to tally his 2nd goal of the year.
And Portland's 2nd goal really came from nothing. It was a long clearance. Oklahoma City gets caught high. Ajay falls down to the ground. Ibiaga does what he can to close the space. All Williams needs is a touch through, and he's able to find Arboleda in behind. A really nice far post finish.
And a story that we were following most of the night, especially when he entered. Lamar Batista, the hometown kid from Oklahoma City. As you see the nice save there by Matt Van Oekel. Here's the yellow card that led to the PK opportunity for Lamar Batista, and the 20-year-old from Oklahoma City puts it home.
And he buries it, just steps up, he's confident. That's a really special moment for him.
We talked earlier about how OKC Energy was able to control possession in their loss against Fresno FC. Tonight, again, 58% to 42%, but it just wasn't in the cards tonight for OKC. They fall to 1-4 on the year. Portland Timbers improves it to 2-1. For Morgan Conklin, I'm Josh Appel. Thanks so much for joining us.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.